Friends, we feel that our association should not be left in any doubt as to what exactly in the Indian view is implied by the idea of cooperation. We feel that it would be helpful from the point of view of the further discussions which are to take place here if our views on the subject were made known. The kind of cooperation to which we in India attach importance is a relationship based on respect for the principle of equal rights and self determination of people. I might add that this principle is clearly laid down in the United Nations, and so long as India is a member of the United Nations organizations, it will be the endeavor of our representative to see that this principle does not remain a pious aspiration but is actually applied in practice in the economic sphere, or more specifically the sphere of trade and employment with which we are concerned. This would mean that no scheme of cooperation which fails to meet the essential requirements of the less developed nations whose interests I might add are the interest of perhaps more than three quarters of the world's population, of which shows undue bias in favor of particular country or group of countries is likely to be accepted by India as a scheme of genuine and fruitful cooperation. We are glad to see that body has been advised in drafting the agenda to take into account the special conditions prevailing in primary producing countries and countries which are industrially backward. But we are not sure that the needs of such countries, especially in the matter of a suitable commercial policy, are fully understood, and as our own country falls in the group of the less developed economies, we feel that our position should be clearly explained. The problem which faces our country, as I pointed out yesterday, is not exceptional one, and the views we are putting forward are no doubt shared by other nations in a similar economic position. I have in mind particularly the nations of Asia and Africa, many of which are India's immediate neighbors, in whose prosperity and welfare we are deeply interested. In other parts of the world also, there are countries in the same position which are faced with the same problems and confronted with the same difficulties. Many of those countries are not represented here today, but I am sure that my fellow delegates will agree with me that their interest should not be overlooked. So far as India is concerned, you will be interested to know that a conference of unofficial representatives of various countries of Asia is expected to meet early next year, and among the problems of common interest to all Asians which will be discussed at this conference will be economic and trade problems. Although this conference has been sponsored by an unofficial agency, I have not the slightest doubt personally that the views expressed by our fellow Asians will have a considerable influence on the government of India's future policy. I have mentioned this in order to emphasize that although our primary concern is naturally the welfare of our own country, we do not wish to take a narrow view or to seek any special advantage which is exclusive in our own interest. Our objective is to bring into existence a cooperative system which is suited to the requirements of all countries which are not fully developed without affecting the genuine interests of the highly industrialized economies. It is because of our conviction that the interests of the two groups are not irreconcilable that we have come to meeting determined to play a constructive part in devising measures for promotion of genuine international cooperation. Our whole attitude to these proposals is based on our conception of a sound employment policy. If our economic objective are sound, and there seems to be general agreement that the rapid economic development of all countries is a desirable objective, then we must retain the power to regulate our trade relations with other countries by methods which are effective and will yield maximum results at a minimum cost to all the concerned. Dear sirs, we beg to thank you for your letter of the 30th May and particularly for the confidence you have shown in us by asking us to undertake the agency for your cars and cycles in this bit town. In this connection, we wish to inform you that we have so far been only sole agents for any type of goods that we undertake to sell. We have been well known as sole agents in this town and we have been successful in any type of business that we have undertaken so far as sole agents. We are aware of the high reputation which your goods enjoy, but we regret that conditions which you lay down are such that we are bound to refuse your offer. The main reason for our refusal is that we understand we are not to be the sole agents, and from our knowledge of the requirements of our town and the district, we feel that such an arrangement would not meet with any measure of success. We must point out that the market here at present for your goods is not as large as it might appear to people who do not know the district, and we are convinced that the demand would not justify the appointment of more than one agent. In addition, it seems that the best arrangement would be to employ an agent of some standing in the town and one who has his representatives in the smaller centers within reasonable distance. The volume of business to be obtained then would make the agency attractive, and if you consider the plan a suitable one, we shall be willing to do all in our power to ensure success. Please let us know your final decision in the matter. Yours faithfully, partner.